Hi, Michelle here. Today I'd like to talk about 10 plants in my collection, Hoyas and some non-Hoyas, that I'm really going to be observing and looking at during the month of August for different reasons. These are the plants that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. There's an honorable mention in here, and we'll get to that later. So let's get started. The first plant that I'd like to show you is my undulata. I absolutely love this plant. I got this plant, I will show a picture right here. I got this plant as a one-leaf cutting. Let me see, it was this leaf right here, was the original cutting, the one I'm tapping on. And it grew all these other leaves. I've noticed that when this plant grows, it will produce the traditional 2 new leaf buds on the node, but that only one will actually continue to grow. The other one will shrivel and eventually just kind of die off. I've noticed that. I've had a couple of double leaves, but for the most part, they are single leaves. What has me going to be looking at this Hoya the most in August is because it grew this long new stem, and I've been really waiting for this because, as you can see, for the whole time I've had it, it's been growing very short and very compact. There are no places really to cut those, to give cuttings to other people, to give to friends. Now it's produced this long stem. It has one node that have leaves that look fairly well developed, new leaves. This second node also has new leaf buds that are fairly well developed that I'm not going to touch. This is the third node, which has the starting of leaf buds. And this is the fourth node, which has the starting of new leaf buds. So I am really watching this. It would be tremendous if I could get even one leaf off of each node. In the past, this Hoya has produced at least one leaf off of each node. So I'm really hoping that that's going to be what happens, because what I will do is I will actually propagate all 4 of those so I can grow them, so I can have four undulatas to grow and to have in my collection, because if they all grow really short like this, they're very difficult to propagate. My next Hoya that I'm going to keep an eye on is one of my favorites. This is my nervosa. This Hoya is big, it's chunky, it's got big wavy leaves, it's got everything you could ever want in a big Hoya. It's unruly. The reason it looks like this is these are actually cuttings I took. This plant had to be cut up. It suffered from pests, so I had to unfortunately reroot it, and this is the result. It was in 5 cuttings. They're wrapped around a short, maybe a 6-inch wire trellis. But as you can see, they're nodes everywhere. What makes me want to watch this Hoya this month is not all these crazy new leaves going everywhere, is that this plant has a peduncle. And not only one, it has 2 peduncles. It has a peduncle here, and it has a peduncle right there. It also has very fairly established new leaves right there, and a very new, it's still fuzzy, a very new growth point I'm not even going to touch because it's so fresh. So this Hoya, I have some concerns about it because it's not liking the wire trellis, like this part right here. This is a dead stem right here, so that had to go. I will this is new, so I will go ahead and clip it on there. This I will leave trailing up the side of the mill's bow, so that way it can, the height will encourage it to grow. So let me just clip that on, and then I will scoot this right out of the way. This plant I have some plans for. This is my, let me see how Rick Moyer pronounces gunnii. So this is mine, and I was thinking it wasn't doing anything. And then it sprouted this leaf off of this node, which already has a leaf. And it sprouted this leaf, which already has 2 leaves on the node. This is completely full of roots. This is all root. So one of my projects that I hope to make a video of is up-potting all of my 2-inch Hoyas in 2-inch pots to 4-inch self-watering pots. It's a project I've been meaning to do for a long time. It normally does not need to be done, but I've had some of these Hoyas sitting in these pots for 18 months. So they are very good. Some of them I can't water without water spilling over because the roots are so compact. Water has to very slowly absorb in the roots. So it's time. This is one of them, but I'm going to the reason I'm going to watch it this month is I'm going to let these leaves mature before I go ahead and repot it. This is my Solana, and this has a journey with it. I really wanted a Solana, and I found someone that would sell me an unrooted 1-leaf cutting. I normally don't have too bad of success rooting 1-leaf cuttings. I got this, and the leaf promptly fell off. I said, well, I really want this plant. I don't really want to give up on it. It wasn't rooted or anything, so I had a bottle, and I said, I'll just throw it in the corner of my mill's bow and ignore it, and I won't do anything with it. And within 2 weeks, it started to root, and this little wonky leaf emerged. This leafless stick fully rooted and became a full plant. That is actually my first Hoya wet stick experiment. So it's got 2 good leaves, a third on the way. So I need to transfer that to pond. Definitely. I've been a little afraid because it's just really enjoying where it's at now, and I hate to disturb it. Obviously, I can't leave it in water forever, but for now, it's not producing wonky leaves, so I'm going to leave it in there. For the next plant, I want to keep an eye on this month. I'm going to switch to a non-Hoya, believe it or not. This is my multiples of Ghost Euphorbia. I've always wanted Ghost Euphorbia, and I bought this at Lowe's, and it came with 4 stems. And the stems were pink at the ends, and the stems had these short appendages. It did not have any of these add-on appendages. Whoop, I dropped a leaf. Sorry, plant. I got this plant. Let me look. Yes, May 11th. This has grown since May 11th. I have put this Ghost Euphorbia in a potting mix with about 60% potting soil, 25% bark, 25% perlite. That's all I did. I water it about once every 7 to 10 days. I do not let the water drain out the bottom, so I don't overwater it. I don't water it like a tropical house plant. I water it more like a succulent. It is also in that same south-facing window. It is not right against the window. It is about 6 inches away. But the thing I love the most about this plant is it has these, see if I can show you, these tiny, tiny little leaves at the tips. They're so cute. Euphorbia, normally, my other euphorbia, I have other euphorbia. And they normally grow the long leaves at the ends. And I have another one right over there. And it's about 2.5 feet tall right now. I love that this euphorbia has given me leaves. So I'm definitely on the watch for this for the month of August, because in August, the sun is the most intense here. So I'm really looking forward to see what this does. My next plant I'm looking forward to seeing what it does is this big beast. This is my balanoides. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Miro, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I know you're not watching, but if it gets back to you, please tell me if I'm pronouncing it right. This plant, this is cuttings. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 cuttings all put together and in a 5-inch self-watering pot. I'm opening up the pond and all I feel is root. So that should be interesting. This may need to be upsized to a 6-inch self-watering pot. I honestly don't know where the new growth is coming from at any time on this plant. It really could be anywhere. Because, like, this is new growth right here. This, I thought was dead, now feels like it might have some life in it. This stick is definitely dead, but the node it's attached to is definitely alive. So I gotta get scissors.
A few moments later.
These are sanitized. There we go. But that wasn't good. May have damaged that node. I'm probably gonna take off and repot as its own cutting so I can keep an eye on it. Because the leaf is, unfortunately I cut into the node a little. So the leaf is a little floppy. So I may lose that leaf. I could probably try taping it up. The things we do when we think we know what we're doing. We don't. At least I don't. Alright, so might as well take cuttings. Oh. We'll try rooting that without a node. Okay, we had a little break. I got some containers for everything, so I'll show you what I did. Trellised this pesky plant. It doesn't look any better, but it is all in one place now. It's all securely attached. So now I have the main plant, and then I have some cuttings. I have the one cutting with a damaged leaf. The node is kind of cut about 1/3 of the way, so I put some medical tape on it. Part of the node is covered up, but the rest of the node right here, where this leaf is untouched, so it should be fine. Then we have this leaf, and then we have this leaf set at the bottom. And the one I sadly cut with no stem. I put in a wide container so that I can submerge just the roots, and we'll root it like that. I will show a picture right here. It's a species of Hoya that I received. I had to root it, and in pond right now, it has no stem. So, I didn't know you could do it before that, but now I know. So that's the next plant. So thankfully, we can go on from there because I'm quite traumatized by this plant now. So this is my Rebecca. Unfortunately, what happened was I had it in this pot. You can see the roots right here. They're okay. It was rooted in a cocoa husk mixture. I did not want to try and take off all the bark off the plant to convert it to pond. So what I did was I left all the plant I could attached to the cocoa husk, and then I took cuttings. I took cuttings with peduncles, with lots of peduncles. This thing had about 19 peduncles. When I do start seeing new growth on these cuttings, that's when I will replant them. I'm not going to plant them in this pot. I do not honestly feel comfortable repotting into a barky mixture new cuttings. I just don't feel comfortable. It's not in my skill set. That is all of the plants. This is plants 1 through 8 that I'm keeping an eye on for August. So now we'll take a look at numbers 9 and 10, and then we'll come back for a honorable mention.
Future Editing Michelle here. Wanted to welcome you to my super fancy video editing station, otherwise known as my couch. I wanted to interrupt the video for a second here to go ahead and say I'm sorry. I made a few mistakes. Well, I made a bunch of mistakes here. I got really flustered in the video because I damaged my plant by doing something really foolish, and I did it on camera. So that was kind of the double whammy of stupidity. So I was really embarrassed, but I kept this in because I wanted to make a point. My channel is about honesty. I want to show you that mistakes happen, experiments happen. Sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. In this case, something bad happened, but I got 3 cuttings out of it, and hopefully I will get 3 new plants out of it. So even though it turned into a stressful situation, I will make it into a positive. You may have noticed I cannot count in this video. I only did 7 plants instead of 8. So I totally got flustered and forgot to do the 8th plant. I will have to do that in another video. I do have 2 more plants, but for some reason I do not have the video of the 10th and final plant in this top 10. So I apologize you don't get the 10th plant. I will definitely include it in another video because it's definitely one that I have to keep my eye on.
Plants 9 and 10 I'm going to be watching for the month of August. Number 9 is my polyneura. And as you can see, it is not movable. It is actually, and I pardon for the handheld camera, it is hung on the wall. It is in a macrame hanger, and it is in a self-watering pot. It started as 2 4-leaf cuttings. The funniest part about this Hoya is it's so persistent to grow in the blinds that it even gets caught and will grow, if you can see that, from catching the blinds. They all have some damage. Right over here is a brand new shoot. It's growing really fast, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's done. It is in the back of the plant, so as you can see, it is butting up against the windowsill, so we may have damage. And we also have one on the back of the plant too. Now, plant number 10.
Here's my 10th and final plant, my obovata. I purchased this as a 6-inch pot in early 2020. It's really grown a lot and filled out around the pot since I got it. You can see the edge of the pot around here. But a couple weeks ago, it produced this new stem with all of these new leaves. I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet. So for now, I'm going to put this stem back where I found it so the leaves don't get damaged. That's plants 9 and 10 that I'm going to be observing during the month of August. Next, we're going to go back to my plant wall for the honorable mention.